Welcome to Brace Yourself, the Raw and Unfiltered Podcast. Join me as we dive into bold and authentic conversations about relationships, self-care, cultural shifts, generational cycles, and more. This podcast is your go-to for real talk and eye-opening insights, all while challenging norms and inspiring change. Tune in to explore the truths that matter most and get ready to embrace the unfiltered reality. Quick disclaimer, the content of Brace Yourself, the Raw and Unfiltered Podcast with Ariel Marie is based on my own research, knowledge, experience, and expertise. While I've read numerous books and consumed credited content on these topics, I am not a licensed professional. I am not an OBGYN. I am not a psychiatrist. I am not a therapist. Okay? I'm just a woman that wants to give informative information out to those who don't know that this is valuable information. The insights and opinions shared are personal and meant for informational purposes only. Please use your discretion and consult a professional for specific advice. Hey y'all, welcome back to Brace Yourself, the Raw and Unfiltered Podcast, where we tackle the issues many people are too hesitant or too privileged to discuss honestly. I'm your host, Ariel Marie, and today we're cutting into the heart of something that should make everybody feel uncomfortable. The crisis Black women face in the medical system. We're putting our lives in the hands of so-called professionals who don't always respect, believe, or value us. And yeah, I want you to feel uneasy about it, because that's how we spark real change. That is how we spark real change. So if it made you uncomfortable just by those couple of sentences that I said, I'm saying the right stuff. Now let's get into it. Let's start with the facts. According to the CDC, Black women in the U.S. are approximately 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications than white women. And I'll repeat that again for those that didn't hear me. Black women in the U.S. are approximately 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications than white women. 3 to 4 times. That's crazy. That ratio is even higher in certain states. Like in New York City, where Black women are 8 to 12 times more likely to die in childbirth compared to white women. And that's based on the data from the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. In New York, the number increased drastically. It went from being 3 to 4 more times likely to 8 to 12 more times likely. What the hell are they doing in New York to where the Black women are dying during childbirth? Way more than the American average. These are all questions that we need to be asking, and we need to open our eyes and see what's really going on around us. And it's not just about childbirth. According to a 2022 report by the National Institute of Health, Black women are more likely to be diagnosed in later stages of diseases like breast cancer, heart conditions, autoimmune disorders, often because healthcare professionals downplay or ignore their early symptoms. Now, I'm going to just reiterate it and say what I just said. Basically, what I just said is, since the testing that they did in 2022, their results that they got were that Black women are more likely to be diagnosed later on in their stages of diseases, like breast cancer, heart conditions, autoimmune disorders. Why is it that Black women are getting diagnosed later in their stages? Why? And that these other cultures and races, they get diagnosed in early stages most of the time. Now, it is some that get diagnosed in later stages. But why is it that Black women are more likely to get diagnosed in later stages? Basically, when it's too late to help. And now you got to get all this poison and all these treatments done in your body. We got to open our eyes and realize what the hell is going on. We have to, because they literally looking at these results and they telling us that everything is okay when it's not. Personally, I dealt with that myself. I deal with that myself.
And so I had to take it upon myself to change what I was doing. Growing up in a Black community, we have been accustomed to a lot of unhealthy eating and a lot of unhealthy foods because our ancestors, and I'm going to say the ancestors that came from slavery because that's not where we originated from. Our story does not just start with slaves, and that'll be another story. But our slave ancestors, they didn't have much to work with, and so they had to have the most unhealthiest food because they had to feed themselves. And so granted, yeah, we were eating chitlins and pork tails and pork neck and neck bones and this and that because that's all that we were offered. And still to this day, we do not get offered the best quality of food. We always get the raw end of the stick. We always get the bullshit, the spoiled food, the poisonous food. That's what's planted into our grocery stores. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. It's still the same. But what we have to do is take that initiative to say, no, we are not eating that shit. We are not allowing it. Because if we constantly keep allowing it, they're going to constantly keep throwing it in our face. But I said that to say that I used to love Church's chicken. Like, that's something my grandma and my grandpa, we would go every day. Every day. And Church's is the greasiest fucking chicken you can buy. Oh my God. You walk into Church's chicken, you might have a heart attack with all the grease and stuff that they use. And like, Church's chicken has always been the home of the greasiest, worst chicken you could get. And that's something we always used to eat almost every single day because I love chicken. Who don't love chicken? Who don't? Okay? It's just in our genes for us to love chicken. Okay? I love it, especially fried chicken. To the point to where I ate it so much when I was about 10, 11 and went to the doctor. The doctor told me I had to go on a diet because of my eating. And it was affecting my heart health with all the grease and fried foods that I was eating. And I'm a child at this time getting put on a diet because of the food that I was eating. But that's all it was. He's like, no, just go on a diet. You know, eat more leafy greens and stuff like that. Take out all the grease. And eventually I did that. You know, I didn't take out fried food all the way completely, but I wasn't eating it as much as I was. Excuse me. Fast forward to 10 years plus, and now I'm in my 20s. And now when I go see the cardiologist in my 20s, I'm getting told that I have fluid around my heart and, you know, that I have these heart issues that I need to constantly get monitored and getting the monitors put on me. And then the results come back and the doctor is like, oh, you're fine. It's not that big of a deal. We don't have to worry about it right now. Once it becomes an issue, then we'll worry about it. Why do we have to wait for something to become an issue for us to worry about it? Why can't we prevent the issue from happening? You know, like that always didn't sit right with me, especially for him to say that to me. And that's when I started talking to my grandmother and my parents about what the doctors were telling me at the offices. And my grandma, you know, she was like, no, let me know or I'll go with you so we can figure out what he's saying, because they also were going to put me on a heart medication. And I'm 27 years old. I do not need to be on a heart medication this young. I do not, because all it's going to do is fuck up something else in my body. So what I did, I changed my lifestyle. I changed what I did. I changed what I ate. Everything. I have a healthier lifestyle now. And now when I went to go get my results and test results done recently, that fluid wasn't there. Those complications that I had were benign. They decreased drastically. And I did that on my own. Not something that the doctor suggested, because they just said, don't worry about it. You're okay. I did this on my own. I took my own initiative and did my own research. And sadly, that's what we have to do, because we live in a country where they're not really here for us. They're not. But let's zero in on pregnancy and childbirth for a moment, because these statistics are gut-wrenching. Picture this. A white woman goes into labor and her pain is believed. A black woman comes in and her pain might be neglected or worse. She's painted as overreacting, told to calm down, and labeled difficult. Y'all already know they have this image of us of the angry black woman. And that's how America has portrayed us. As an angry black woman, always complaining, always got this to say, always got that to say. No, it's just us voicing our opinions because before we didn't have a fucking voice at all. And it's okay for us to voice our opinions. We are not overreacting. You are not difficult. You do not need to calm down. If you are in pain, you are in fucking pain. You walk into these hospitals, emergency rooms, and doctor's office, and you see nothing but black people in the hallways without beds, in pain, crying on a deathbed, not given any attention, any help, no medication or anything. Why? Because, they just trying to come in here to get some meds. They just want some morphine. They just want this. Ain't nothing wrong with them. They just cold and want somewhere to sleep. Oh. Well, what about the white people that come in just for those drugs? Y'all don't think like that when they come in and, no, they just trying to come in here and get some drugs. No, y'all help them motherfuckers. So what's the difference of when someone with darker skin comes in and they're in pain and you telling them, here's Tylenol? Why does the health industry prescribe black people Tylenol all the fucking time? But all these other cultures can get Percocets and all these oxys and everything else. But we got to deal with Tylenol. Why? Because them Tylenol 3s don't do nothing. We might as well just deal with our pain at that point. Because the Tylenol don't even do nothing for us. It doesn't. So why is that? Why is it? When we're not even the ones that be getting addicted to that oxy. We're not. It's the other culture that does, and that's who they giving it to for free with no questions asked. And that's who's getting addicted to it. You don't hear no stories about no black person getting addicted to no oxycodone, nothing like that for real. Not a lot of stories, no. But yet they don't offer that to us to help us with our pain. They just give us fucking Tylenol and tell us to have a good day. And to follow up with our primary care doctor. Crazy, right? Now, it's no secret that America performs more cesarean sections than most other developed nations. Did y'all hear me? America performs more C-sections than any other country. But here's the sick truth. Black women are disproportionately pushed into C-sections. Why does that matter? C-sections are major surgeries. They come with higher risk of infection, complications in future pregnancies, and longer healing times. The CDC's National Center for Health Statistics, let me drink me some water, because that was just a lot of C's and S's to say in one sentence, states that Black women have a C-section rate of around 36%. That's significantly higher than the national average, which hovers around 31%. If the national average for C-sections is 31%, how in the fuck is the Black women's 36%? What's going on? Doctors often claim it's safer for the baby, or they mention failure to progress in labor. Sometimes they say the baby's heart rate looks concerning, or we don't want to risk oxygen deprivation. They say all of this. To us. I have my own pregnancy experience myself and story regarding childbirth and dealing with doctors. And listen, they do not help at all. They don't give no fucks. Okay? I've witnessed that myself. And they sit here and they lie and they tell you your baby heart rate is dropping and it looks concerning. Or as the oxygen levels are getting low, so we got to cut you open instead of you delivering your baby the natural way of how y'all been doing it for thousands of fucking years. Why? But is it always true? Or is it partially due to implicit bias and the false assumption that Black women have a higher pain tolerance or that their bodies need extra management? Because that's how they already see us anyways. Black people, y'all done been through slavery. Y'all can get through anything. They don't hurt as much. Y'all have a higher pain tolerance. So no, you don't need this medication because we know y'all have a higher pain tolerance because of all the shit that we have put y'all through. Yes, we are fucking resilient and we some strong motherfuckers. But if we in pain, we are in pain and we should not get treated differently just because we can take pain at a different level than other fucking cultures can. It's bullshit. Let's be real. We seen way too many cases where medical files revealed that the baby's heart rate was fucking fine. The baby's heart rate was fine. Labor was going to progress normally. All of it. We've seen plenty of cases where this has happened, where nothing was fucking wrong at all. It just wasn't on a doctor's time and they didn't want to deal with that. So they just wanted to cut the lady open instead of waiting on labor. A 2021 study in an American Journal of OB found that hospitals serving higher Black patient populations has significantly elevated C-section rates that couldn't be explained by medical necessity alone. 2021, they did a study where if it's more Black patients, they giving out C-sections and they don't even got no reasons for them. That's alarming. That's concerning. It's concerning. It's extremely concerning, and I love that we're finally out and talking about it. There's been plenty of posts on social media, especially on Facebook, about Black women and C-sections and how the doctors are pushing it and saying, oh, the baby's heart rate it's not really low. I'm so glad that we are finally opening our eyes and realizing that, hold on. My baby been fine this whole time, and now you gonna tell me I gotta get a C-section? No. Did y'all just hear what I said? Elevated C-section rates where they serve a higher Black population and they don't have any medical reasons as to why they gave these women C-sections. None. It's unacceptable. They need to be held accountable for that shit. Now let's get personal. Like I said, I've been in doctor's offices where I was given 0 options. Dismissed when I suggested alternative treatments. Like I said, I've dealt with the labor field and everything else. And I've had a woman doctor, my OBGYN was a man, and I loved him. His name was Dr. Nathan White. And he was a white man, and I loved him. He cared about me. He went through all the extra precautions. Every concern that I had to him, he always listened to what I had and said. But it was a few weeks or whatever, he was out of work because his wife, had just had a baby. Excuse me. And obviously doctors need vacations too because they do have lives. And so I came in for a checkup on the baby and I had to deal with a guest doctor there. And this was a woman. And she was telling me that, I should just terminate my baby because they don't have any options to help me. Where I was sitting there and I was on my phone Googling different options and everything else. And she said, no, we don't offer that to you. If you can get to 20 weeks, then we'll start helping you. But we're not about to help you right now. Which is bullshit. I was upset. I was hurt that a woman did not care to save my baby. And this was a woman. I didn't expect this from a woman. I did not expect this from a woman at all. And I literally got that from a woman. Like, no, we're not doing any of that. When it's literally on there. Facts on the web. If you do this procedure or if you take these precautions, you can take the steps to help and save the baby. And they basically said they don't got the time. They don't want to do that shit. They don't care. Crazy, right? Literally, I was dismissed. Meanwhile, white women in the same practice, they get the procedure right away. Right away. Because guess who was on them websites and all the stuff I was looking up when I was trying to get all the extra help? It was nothing but white women. Wasting their reviews and everything. Oh, yes, this helped me. It saved my baby. And there wasn't no Black women on there. It was all white women. And as horrifying as it sounds, stories circulate about doctors who literally tell Black mothers to just terminate when the pregnancy has complications. Literally, I have my own personal experience of that, and I could not fucking believe that. And a woman telling me that shit, what? It was mind-blowing. It made you not want to go to the doctor. Like, that left a bad taste in my mouth. Really, seriously. I switched my doctors after that, and I switched to a Black female doctor after that. Because I was just like, oh, hell no. Mm-mm. Rather than exploring every potential avenue for saving that baby, the response is too often termination or flat rejection of potential life-saving interventions. On top of that, look what they push on us when it comes to medications. High blood pressure. Here's lisinopril, if I'm pronouncing that right. Lisinopril. Lisinopria. My mouth is pretty dry and everything. And y'all know when I'm passionate, I just get the yapping and my tongue be getting the twisting. But I'm gonna pronounce it as best as I can. That medication. This is a medication that's been going viral on social media as well, which is known to cause harsh side effects in Black patients. And yeah, it's like severe coughing and migraines. But the side effects that's been the most common with these Black people taking this, it's comas. Coma. How you taking a blood medication for high blood pressure and it put you in a coma? Don't nobody want that, to be taking medication to help themselves, and then now they unconscious and ain't no telling for how long they are going to be unconscious for. Is that truly the best solution? Or is it just a default one-size-fits-all approach that never is considered on our unique physiology? I said that right. Hands down, everyone has a right to manage their reproductive choices. But let's not pretend birth control doesn't come with serious risk. The World Health Organization has listed birth control, the pill, as a carcinogen. Okay? Ladies, I always talk about birth control. I always emphasize it. I always talk about it. But at the end of the day, I'm just offering information. What you do with the information and how you live your life is solely up to you and your choices and what you want to do. But coming from a woman that has never been on birth control her whole life, and then I got on birth control last year or so, maybe for like 6 months, and I seen how it was affecting my body, so I took myself off of it. And then I did all my research and everything else, and I learned all of this stuff, and then they came out as it being a carcinogen. You just got to realize what you're doing at the end of the day. Why are you putting poison into your body for birth control? Just so you can have sex and get nutted in and not have to think about getting pregnant? Is that why you don't care about putting poison in your body? Or for endo. Oh, the doctor's telling you you got endometriosis or PCOS, so take birth control. No. It's natural and better ways to help with endo and to help with PCOS. Birth control is not the answer, and it will never be the answer. They are literally lying to y'all, and they fucking up y'all bodies even more. Literally. Many forms of birth control can throw off all your natural hormone balances and create long-term issues. From ovarian cysts to fertility struggles later on. That birth control can stop you from having babies forever. Literally. It's a 1 in 1 chance, but that can happen. And guess who they push it on the hardest? Black and brown communities. Black and brown communities. Realistically, I'm not going to say I have never, but I have not came across a white girl taking birth control. I haven't. In my 27 years of living, I have not came across a white girl taking birth control. Ever. I've always known Black women to take birth control, though. I used to see that shit growing up. My aunties and them had a little thing, and they'd just take it, you know? But I've never seen, like, no white girl take birth control, ever. Ever. Now ask yourself why. Could it be part of a larger agenda? This is birth control. I'm doing my air quotation marks, after all. Maybe they don't want us reproducing too much. Obviously, that's the fucking case. You could watch these shows on TV and it literally shows you why birth control is out. Like, they coincide with one another. Maybe they rather see us dealing with the side effects, weight gain, depression, high blood pressure, So we come back for more pharmaceutical hustling, and they'll claim it for our benefit. That's the real kicker. Literally, like my cousin said in the previous episode before, they sell us the ailment so we can pay to fix it. They are selling us the ailments so we can pay to fix it. That's why it's big to do your research and know what you're putting in your body, know what you're putting on your body, know what you're doing to your body and what's going on in your body. That's why all of this is so important. It's literally, we live in a world that's a war on everything on us, with what the food that we eat, the products that we use, the medicine that we put in our bodies, everything. It's literally a silent war going on, and we are unaware of it. And if you think that this is just conspiracy talk, think again. Please, I'm not on here talking no conspiracy talk. This is just facts. This is just plain facts that you can Google your goddamn self and see, oh, Ari she's speaking the truth. Did y'all know historically enslaved Black women were experiencing it on without anesthesia, without getting put to sleep, under the false belief that we feel pain differently? Since slave days, they got this mindset. We deal with pain differently and we feel it differently. That's how they always look at us. Always. We're talking about the father of modern gynecology, J. Marion Sims, and Google him, because they ain't really talk about him a lot at school. So Google him. Google that motherfucker, because he was evil. Okay? Who built his career on torturing Black women. Literally. The father of modern gynecology is someone whose career was built on torturing us. He didn't get that far without us. Okay? Fast forward to today, and it might not be so blatant, but the underlying attitude remains. Our pain, dismissed. Our babies, not given the same fighting chance. Our organs, placenta, and genetic material is regarded as valuable commodities for research and transplants based on certain unethical doctors' fascination with our so-called, quote-unquote, quotations, super genetics. Okay? Because, listen, we are powerful. We are powerful. Okay? We are melanin in our body. There's the placentas that we carry when we get pregnant and have these babies. They are just full of so much nutrients, and we are literally walking pieces of gold. And they literally just be trying to kill us off to take our shit. Like, it's literally what it is. Literally what it is. Black don't crack. That's a real thing. If you haven't heard of that, you haven't heard of that saying, I don't know what to tell you. Black don't crack. That's a real thing. Black don't crack unless you do it. Look at all these Black people, and they be looking 70, 80 years old, and they looking 50. You wouldn't even know that at that age. Why? It's something in our body. We don't age like that. You ain't gonna tell how old we is unless you actually stress yourself out and you do all them drugs and stuff that show your age. But other than that, you're not gonna know what age you are. You're not. So it's obviously something different about us than everybody else. Because why are we always targeted? Our organs, our arms, our muscles. Like, I am a very fit Black woman. And before, I used to hate how strong my arms were. And I used to be so self-conscious about my body because I just felt like I looked too strong and everything else. But I'm blessed and I'm grateful to have a body like this because I don't have to do anything. This is a genetic body. Like, I came with the muscles built into it already, like toned up. I don't have to do nothing. My body does everything I need for me. I feed it what it needs to get fed, and I do my workouts to keep it going. But literally, we are, however you want to call it, however they call it, we got those super genetics. We are extremely valuable. That's why they out here sex trafficking and kidnapping and everything else, because we are extremely fucking valuable. And until we realize how valuable we are, they're going to keep taking advantage of us. Remember, healthcare in America is a business, and the business runs on profit. from prescribing the most expensive drugs to scheduling extra procedures like C-sections, there's serious money to be made. When we talk about the why me, why now, the unfortunate answer often leads back to someone's profit margin. The data from the Healthcare Finance News shows that C-sections can cost twice as much as a natural birth, especially once you throw in anesthesia, operating rooms, and extended recovery. So the big question is, do we ditch hospitals entirely? For some, especially those with high-risk conditions, it's necessary that you go to the hospital, but you do have options. Bring a medical advocate, whether it's a friend, family member, someone who knows how to speak up. Take somebody with you. Now, before, when it was COVID, they was not allowing nobody to come into the rooms. It was just you, yourself, and I. That was it. Excuse me, but we are 2025 now. We are in 2025. You can bring somebody with you. No matter who it is, just as long as you know that they're going to speak up and they got your back. They sitting there, they either recording what the doctor is saying so they can figure out what he was really saying or she was really saying, because sometimes they don't like to explain it in better terms for you to understand. They just say shit and just be like, here, this is what you need, and that's it. Like my grandma, she's my medical advocate. When I have serious appointments to go to, she's either going to be right there with me or I'm calling her and I'm letting her know, hey, they said this, so what should I do? I'm not going to fill no prescriptions. I'm not going to just say yes to anything without getting some type of insight. Because we need that. We need that. Because if not, when you in there by yourself, they just think you just dumb. You just black and dumb. You don't know nothing. Literally. So going in there with an advocate, someone that knows a little bit, goes a long way. Hire a doula or a midwife, especially one who's culturally competent and won't brush your pain aside. Because there are plenty of doula and midwives out here. And that's why I said especially one who's culturally competent and don't brush your pain aside. Because don't just get a midwife or a doula and they white. And then they think, oh, you in pain, girl, but y'all can take pain. Don't get one of them. Get you a black doula or something or Indian. It don't matter, but get one that fits you. You can seek out Black physicians or allies who have a track record of fighting racism in the healthcare system. Granted, it is hard to find a Black physician, especially, it's not that hard. There are plenty of them out here, but a lot of the Black physicians are already taken up. They already have a lot of patients. They're probably overworked and everything else. So you just have to be patient when it comes to also finding a Black physician that is available and is taking new patients and that will take you. Because they also taken up too. Because you know who love them? You know who love them? Oh, okay. Okay. And then also research medications before filling that prescription. Especially if you know certain drugs have crazy ass side effects on Black people. I used to be the type to just get a prescription from my doctor and just go fill it. Wouldn't look it up or none. Just like he said, I need to take this, so that's what I'm gonna do. And a lot of us do that. We just listen to our doctors because that's what we were taught from childhood and school and everything. When you go to the doctor, when the doctor tells you something, it's right. They know what they're talking about, so just take it. And that's not how it's supposed to go. That's not how it should be. Research your medications. Actually ask if you really need this, or is it natural ways that you could fix an issue? Because a lot of medications have serious side effects. You take a medication for a headache that stop your headache, but now it had made your feet swell. So now you got to have a medication to stop your feet from swelling, and the medication that's going to stop your feet from swelling is going to make your heart rate increase. And now you got to have a medication for your heart rate to stop increasing. So now you got breathing problems going on. It's just, it's a never-ending fucking cycle. So your best bet, research. And then last is to demand accountability. File complaints. If you experience discrimination, disrespect, all of that, document everything. Record, video. I don't look. And y'all know I don't suggest nothing. Y'all don't listen to me. My disclaimer is in the beginning, but if you got to go into your doctor's office with your voice memo on, whatever it may be, document it. Because they need to be starting to be held accountable. Just like it was a post that went viral. A lady got surgery and she left her phone record on. And they was talking shit about her while they were performing surgery on her. It was a black woman too. They was calling her fat, saying that they wasn't going to put her organs back in the right way and everything else. When we're unconscious, ain't no telling what these motherfuckers doing to us. So I would suggest you take those extra precautions and be on your P's and Q's. Because now we know that it's a lot of sick people in the healthcare industry. You cannot trust everybody. It's not evil. Everybody not evil, but you just got to do your best to weed the bad ones out. We can't just ignore these injustices because ignoring them only perpetuates the cycle. Literally, if you do not speak up, the shit gonna keep on happening. If you don't say nothing, no change will come. If you start speaking up and saying stuff, change is going to come because it's going to be a snowball effect. Okay? This is your wake-up call, America. If you feel uneasy, that's good. It means you are alive and you got a fucking conscience. Okay? Black women, we already know this struggle, but it's time for the other communities to confront this horror and stand up with us. We need allies, not more silence. We need policies that protect us, not doctors who profit at our expense. Hospitals should be sanctuaries, not battlegrounds where we have to beg for compassion. We deserve better, and we are not waiting for permission to demand it. Thank you for sticking with me today through this tough but necessary conversation. Speak up, share your stories, and do your research. Because the more we illuminate these dark corners, the harder it becomes for the system to hide its failures. And this is a quote to live by. Justice is never given. It is exacted, and the struggle must be continuous. By A. Philip Randolph. Amen to that. I'm Ariel Marie, signing off. Remember, we don't just brace ourselves for the truth. We demand it. Stay informed, stay empowered, and keep pushing for real change.